When I first heard of Cogs, it seemed like a tough sell. Sliding block puzzles are often used as tedious filler in adventure games, so who'd want to play a whole game full of them? However, Cogs made it work quite well, and I'd like to talk about two reasons for its success: its tactile physicality and its workarounds for common problems with this genre. Let's start with the sense of physicality. This isn't the same as physics, since the game doesn't use any kind of rigid body physics engine. Instead, the whole game is a realistic looking mechanical contraption made of brass, steel, and mahogany, even including the options menu, help screen, and transition effects. The materials are accurately rendered, as if you can reach out and touch them, and you can rotate freely around levels. This physicality extends to the gameplay itself, which can best be demonstrated by walking through one of the early levels. This one starts with a steam-powered tricycle device. This pipe is shooting steam out into the air instead of powering the vehicle, so clearly we should attach the pipe to those two exit pipes at the top. Now the steam is powering the gears, so we have to use the gears to power the wheels. Once the wheels are powered, the machine drives away. A multi-sided level like this could have been quite confusing, but the physical appearance, rotation controls, and realistic mechanics make it intuitive, as if you're holding the device in your hand while repairing it. The tactile realism also makes it easier to keep up as new elements are added, like double-sided blocks, musical chimes, or hot air balloons. They all work as they would in the real world, so you can focus on figuring out how to achieve the goal, instead of trying to keep track of arbitrary rules. The most significant challenge Cogs had to face is the fact that most people hate sliding block puzzles. This is caused by one common scenario. You've solved the entire puzzle, except you need this piece to go there. Then you slide the pieces around to get the piece there, which scrambles the entire rest of the puzzle. You repeat this process until eventually you stumble across the solution. Like the Rubik's Cube, finding a solution to a sliding puzzle can seem to be a completely random process until you start to see the larger patterns. Cogs uses 3 strategies to help avoid this kind of frustration. First, there are usually a lot of interchangeable parts. For example, if there are 2 gears or 2 horizontal pieces, it doesn't matter in which order they're connected, as long as there's a path from the source to the destination. This redundancy makes it much easier to get those last 1 or 2 blocks in the right place. Second, the levels are often broken down into different phases, so you can solve them independently, and not risk losing as much progress if you accidentally mess up one phase. Third, the levels are unlocked based on score, rather than a strictly linear path. Each level gives you 3 stars for completion, and up to 6 more stars for speed and efficiency bonuses. This means that you can skip a frustrating level if you perform well on the other ones. While these efforts make the game much more accessible than the traditional sliding block puzzle, it's still quite difficult. In game design, an intuitive mechanic is usually one that the player is already familiar with from daily life. This means that a realistic presentation is not necessarily just about eye candy. It can also make the game more familiar and easier to understand, allowing for greater complexity elsewhere. Also, Cogs shows that you don't need to start from a popular puzzle genre like tower defense or match 3. Even widely despised puzzles, like sliding blocks, can be made fun using solid design techniques, resulting in a much more distinctive experience.